for helping put this together. Some of you may know me, some of you may not know me. I'm Michael Coopersmith. I'm President and CEO of Integrated Technology Systems. We're a full-service IT managed service provider. We specialize in cybersecurity, cloud services, managed services. Our practice is basically professional services, law, accounting, financial services. Any basically knowledge workers are pretty much as our focus of business. We spent a lot of time working with Ingram and Microsoft on building out our cloud infrastructure business and our cybersecurity business. And I hope you enjoy this afternoon, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Michael. Welcome. We're super excited to have you on the phone with us today. Today won't be a normal webinar that you're a part of. It's going to be very interactive. So don't be afraid to put yourself off of mute or interact with yourself in the chat window. Today we're going to go ahead and talk about Microsoft Teams, but most importantly, secure collaboration. And so I want to go ahead and just start the conversation in the chat window with what is your industry and are you on Microsoft Teams? So if you could just type in your industry and type yes or no, that would be great. And the chat button is a part of the bar. So if you don't see it up, you'll see a little window there or a little box with some lines that will pop the chat up on the right-hand side. This is great. Perfect. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We're really lucky today because I have a security expert on the phone, and his name is Sylvester Gittens, and he is a technical expert here at Ingram Micro. And when we think about, moving to the cloud, if you're not in the cloud in general, or, enabling teams within your environment, especially within the environment we're currently in with the pandemic and most of us working from home, it's important for us to know that we're secure, that our information is secure, our data is secure. And so Sly is going to go ahead and just take a little bit of your time to talk about this to start with. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you.
All right. Thanks, Abby, for the wonderful introduction. And thank you, everyone, for your time today. And today we're going to talk about securing your environment and making sure, you can secure your remote devices and locations. So you can go to the next slide, Abby. So the first thing I want to talk about is small businesses are vulnerable to cybersecurity threats. And all of you might be saying to yourself, Sly, you already know that. And the good thing about it, you partner with ITS and you partner with Ingram Micro, and we're leveraging Microsoft security solutions. And one thing that we're finding out is the media likes to focus on the large, huge breaches because that sells more newspaper. But as you know, that small companies are susceptible to breaches as well, right? And the one thing that is harder for small companies to recover from is that cost of that breach. And the average breach is about $120K. So I want to stop here and have all of you just think about, if you had to pay $120K, what would that do to either your workforce? What projects would you have to stop? Will you continue to be able to perform? Will you have to shut down? And what we're seeing is a little bit of both. We're seeing a lot of small businesses being forced to shut their businesses down because of security, right? And Microsoft took a step back and said, why is this happening? And the main issue is a lot of these SMBs have a hard time dealing with security issues. But that's the great thing about being partnered with a partner like ITS, Ingram, and Micro. We can help you with that. So one of the products that we're going to talk about today is Microsoft 365 for Business. And the great thing about Microsoft 365 for Business is that it takes what you know and love about Office 365. That's the Office productivity applications such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook. Then you have Exchange. You have Exchange Online with archiving, so you can keep those documents that's close to you. And one thing that is added on there is security. And you can build out the slide, Abby.
Yeah, we're getting some feedback from you too, Sly, just as an FYI.
Is this better? Same?
Yeah, much better. Thank you.
All right. So one thing I like to point out, what separates the M365 business solution it couples security together. And let's talk about a few of those. So something as simple as multi-factor authentication. Most organizations don't have that enabled, right? Or don't use that feature. And that feature can help deter a lot of phishing attempts to keep your information safe. Another solution is during this COVID-19, it forced a lot of our, if not all of our reps to work from home, right? So with that comes the opportunity to lose devices. It comes to be go on unsecured networks, right? One thing that you get with this solution is Windows Defender Exploit Guard and enforce BitLocker encryption to lock down the device. So if they lose it, they don't have to worry about your documentation, your information getting into the wrong hands. Or it also protects the file-level applications from ransomware attacks and other attacks with that enabled. And that's unique to the business premium SKU, the Microsoft 365 business SKU. Another thing is data loss. All of you on the phone said that, medical field, IT field, y'all all have intellectual property that you don't want to get into other hands. Within this solution, we give you the tools to be able to lock down your information so someone doesn't accidentally share out your data or it doesn't get into the wrong hands. So you can leverage something called Azure Information Protection. And a big one that I think is really prevalent today is device management, right? So with all of our users being on the edge, being at home, working remote, right? How is that device being leveraged? And how many of you have to allow the users use their own personal device? How is that being secured? With Microsoft Intune, you can lock down the device. And another area that I talked briefly about is how many applications are your users signing into? What if you could streamline that all into one interface, right? And show that you can do that by leveraging single sign-on. And Abby, would you go to the next page?
Yeah.
So how does that look like, right? Why am I spending the time to talk to you today? And why did ITS partner with Ingram Micro as well as Microsoft? So what we want to do is put money back into your pocket. And how do we do that? By giving you the ability to perform and be productive, but also making sure that's secure. But the main thing I have to stress here is you're getting all this for $20. You might be asking yourself, is it good? Because if it's only $20, that kind of brings something in, that might bring some people to pause, right? But if you take a look at Gartner, Forrester, Microsoft is in top 5 and 5 different security quadrants for their solutions. So you can rest assured that you're getting a solution that will last you long term. So you're getting that return on investment. And I know as working for SMBs, that money is essential. You could put it other ways to grow your business. And now I'm going to turn it over to Abby unless there's questions.
All right, Sly, thank you so much for jumping on the call. I know you've been pretty busy with this working from home stuff, so thanks for jumping on. All right, we're going to have a little fun before we get started and before we get into the Microsoft Teams. And so I want people to become interactive, and you can see that I'm on the camera. And hopefully you can see me at the bottom of your screen. But I want you to turn on your cameras. If you turn on your camera, this is a happy hour and you have a drink in your hand, show it. And the first person to turn on their camera, say hello, Abby, wave at me, whatever, you're going to get a prize. We have some fun prizes today.
Hi, Abby.
I can't see you though yet. Where are you at? Oh, Sly, you don't qualify, but this person down at the bottom does. Hey, Dan, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Who else do we have on? Dan Bogan is the first person that I saw. Hey, Dan, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I love your background. That's awesome.
Yes, I've learned how to use the backgrounds in here already.
Fantastic. No, it makes it a lot more fun. Who else can pop up and say hello?
How you doing?
You're not coming into my screen yet, but hopefully you will soon.
Greg, you can't see me?
I can't. Can Michael or anybody else see you? Oh, there you are, Greg. How's it going?
I'm okay. How you doing? I actually work with Dan, so we jumped on at the same time.
Awesome. There you go. Well, thanks so much for showing your faces. And we're going to really dive into what that camera can do to help you accelerate your business in a little while. But I'd love to be interactive right away. So Dan, you get a $25 Amazon gift card. That's going to go ahead and be sent over to you via email from the team here at ITS. Okay. All right. Microsoft Teams. We're hearing about it. We're seeing it all over TV. The NFL draft, which I'm so excited about, tomorrow night, all through Microsoft Teams. Everybody is looking at how they can use the platform to do business. I was at an Indiana Pacers game doing a demo, walked in and they were holding a Microsoft Teams webinar with their staff up on the Jumbotron. I tell you, I got goosebumps for days. And so Microsoft Teams is taking the world by storm. So much so that there are 48 million plus active daily users on the platform. It is the most secure, productive environment in the market today, meaning that everything that you have in the platform is encrypted when you're using Microsoft Teams, and even the Microsoft product stack across the board. And knowing that our data is protected, our videos are protected, we're not getting hacked, that's a big deal when we're running our business. It's supported in 53 different languages, which is awesome. If you're a global customer, you can actually translate from their native language into English, so business doesn't have to stop. 93 of the Fortune 100 companies are using Teams in its entirety, from chat, Teams, calendar, and even telephony. And over 650 customers have 10,000 plus active users. The US government is moving 4 million users to Microsoft Teams. So we know, based upon this research, that is a very trusted platform. It also complies with 90 different regulations. And I saw legal in the window, financial. It will cover you across the board, education, to make sure that your data is secure. Okay, we're going to go ahead. I don't like to go through a bunch of slides. I like to go ahead and get right into the demo. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull you guys over from my third screen, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So I like to make this interactive. There's a chat window here. Come off of mute to ask a question. There are more prizes to give away. If you ask a question and you come off mute, I want to see your face. I've been living in my house with my 3 kids for 35 days, and you are the only adult interaction that I get. So let's make it count. Okay. So here on the bar, you are in the Teams meeting. You have already entered into this environment. I just want to make sure I'm blowing up all the way here. And you can see on the bar here that we have a bunch of different functionality, including camera. So you can see I have turned my camera on. In the camera environment, it can change the way and the way business is ran. And I'd like to bring up an example of rapport building. By turning on your camera, you can increase profitability, believe it or not, within your company because you are connecting with people. You're seeing them face to face. I tell my team here at Ingram Micro all the time, I don't care if your hair's not done, you haven't done your makeup, you don't have hair, put on a hat, throw up a messy bun, and let's get personal. We live in an age now where our kids are sitting on our laps, they're running behind us naked. Happened to me 3 weeks ago, and we are doing business. We have to adapt to our surroundings. And we can also invoke creativity. And I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody real quick. So if you need to come off, just go ahead and do that. So I'm going to just go ahead and mute. So give me a thumbs up. Everyone, here we go. Perfect. So we can like increase productivity and creativity and build rapport with our teammates as well. And I used to work at a company where I was on the leadership team, and I sit in Fargo, North Dakota. Don't ask. It's very cold, probably like where you're at as well. And I used to communicate with the leadership team in Dallas, Texas. And I would get on the call and I would do my part, and then there would be laughing, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, what did I do wrong? And so I finally said, we're using Teams. Let's use video so that we can actually see each other. And the self-consciousness went away. I was able to be confident when I was talking. We were able to come together as a team, and we even decreased our meetings by 15 minutes because we were able to communicate better with one another. That 15 minutes could be spent on our customers at the end of the day. So we were winning just by turning on our camera. The next button here is the mute button. This is where you'll come off mute if you want to ask me a question. Then we're able to share our screen. If I click this, you're not going to see the presentation, but this screen sharing capability will actually allow you to share a document. You don't have to share your whole desktop. You can gain control of somebody's computer by asking for it, so they can come in and help you and drive to a solution. And there's so much more that you can do with there. So I encourage you to play with those team settings, just not during the call because you may take over for me. There's also more actions. So you can see the device settings. Oh, Greg, I love the background. Keep showing us your background. It's fun. The device settings here, you can see we can change them. We can adjust our speaker and even our camera from that perspective. We can show our meeting details. So if you drop off, you can actually join right back in from this meeting, and everything is located here. Loving the backgrounds. It's so much fun. You can enter into full screen, so you don't have to see the bottom applications that you're running. I'm gonna go ahead and exit full screen. And you can have some fun with those background effects. So Microsoft, I was actually on a call last week, had no idea they were released. That's how fast Microsoft makes changes. It used to be just the background blur. Well, I'm not really sitting in a skyscraper office right now. I'm sitting in my office in Fargo, North Dakota. So you can see my normal background in my office. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that. So you can see behind me, I have another desk, but you can change that to a bunch of different backgrounds to help you, look more professional. You can even upload your own background. So I like to be in front of the Fargo Theater sometimes, or on the beach in Africa. And so I can upload that so we can add some fun into our team meetings. The next one is the live caption. Microsoft loves to be inclusive. And by being inclusive, we want to make sure that people can understand us and they can hear us. And if you talk really, really fast, sometimes that gets people off guard. And so if you look at the bottom hand corner, everything that I'm saying is actually being translated. If Sly were to come off of mute and talk to me, we could have a conversation back and forth and be able to read what people are writing or are speaking.
Hey, Abby, you talk too fast.
Yeah, thanks, Joey. I appreciate that. A couple of weeks ago, I was on with a customer and a partner, and the customer was calling in from the Netherlands, and they spoke Dutch and English, and we're kind of going back and forth, and it actually translated everything into English for me. So we were able to have a conversation that wasn't going to stop. So how cool is that at the end of the day? Okay. The next one on here is the keyboard, the keypad. If we wanted to, we could dial people in that have maybe we need to get more advice into our meetings. We could actually just dial them in. The next one is we can stop the recording here. This is where you would also start your recording if you wanted to have a recorded meeting. You can end your meeting and also turn off incoming video. The next button shows you who is all in the meeting. So we can scroll through, see other people who were invited if they've accepted. This is also where you can mute people. You can mute them one by one. If you're talking, it's actually going to go ahead and show up purple around your face. And so let's say there's a bad feedback or they're in the wind and they forgot to turn themselves off. You can actually go ahead and mute them as part of the meeting. And then up here on the top, you can invite additional people or dial them in by a phone number. Questions so far?
Abby, I have a question. Could you talk a little bit around the new capability from Microsoft around the 9x9 and, the security aspect? within the collaboration perspective?
Yeah, it's a really good question, Joey. And so Joey's my counterpart here at Ingram as well from a security standpoint. And Microsoft is coming out with 9x9 with probably the next 4 weeks where you're going to be able to see 9 faces up on the screen at one time. And you're probably thinking, well, why aren't they going bigger than that? Well, Microsoft has scientifically proven that the brain cannot pay attention to more than 9 things at one time. And so we want to be able to still have effective collaborative meetings. I'm going to dig more into the security portion of it in a little while, but anything we type here is secure. It's encrypted. If we're using Teams on our phone and we're out in the field, everything we put in there goes into Teams. It doesn't save on our phone. It doesn't go through data. It goes directly into that secure platform. Yeah. There's a question. Can you select individuals for caption? You mean down on below when it's transcribing? I guess I'm unsure of the question if you want to come off of mute.
Yeah, so can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Okay, so what my question is I'm going to use this in upcoming like an audit scenario, and what I've been using it for when I've had in-person audits is kind of like an IM, instant message on the side to say, pull this document, take a look at this information, or bring this into the room. If I'm going to be doing a remote audit now, I'm going to have my auditor up there, and if I want to tell somebody else in this team specifically, hey, pull this document or bring this information in, is there a way I can select who gets this captioning below me? So that way I can kind of use it as an IM for certain people, but everybody else does not see it that way. I get, you know what I'm saying?
I do, and unfortunately the captioning is on for anybody who is on the call, so anybody invited would be able to see that captioning. If you wanted to do side-by-side conversation, Microsoft is eventually going to do pop-out windows, so if you needed to talk to somebody on the side to get you additional information, but they're still part of the meeting, you can have side chats with them. One way that I get away with side chats is, and you're going to see it right here, is I always have my window open, a web browser, so I can chat back and forth if I need information. And so you can see that this meeting is actually being held, but let's say somebody needs to ask me a question, I'm going to be able to chat at the same time. Sometimes I'll have up to 7 different web browsers open. My kids are playing with the blinds. I'm so sorry. Hey, you guys, I'm on a call, okay? Welcome to parenting in the new age. So please don't come in. I'm on a call. Thank you.
She has pretend kids. They're
I'm
not
on
real,
a call
they're
with a
pretend
bunch of
kids.
people. Thank you, baby. And then I also use Teams on my phone too, right? And so you have the ability to multitask and still keep your main meeting going. Does that help?
Yes, that'll help.
Awesome. And Charles, you get a $25 gift card as well for answering a question or asking a question and coming off. So you guys want to make sure that that's documented for him. We have a few M365 licenses. Can anyone call into that meeting so as long as they have the number and meeting ID? Yeah, that's correct. As long as they have the phone number or the link, they're going to be able to go right into that meeting as well. And if you're working with clients that don't have Teams, if you have the conference call bridge, they're going to be able to dial in, and they'll be or else be able to connect via the web, so they wouldn't need the license. Great questions. Okay, so we're in this team meeting. We're going to go ahead and talk about, here's the chat. I want to be able to show you chat in a different way, so we're going to go ahead and move to that in a little bit from that perspective. And then here you are seeing the people. We talked about that as well, and then this is where you hang up the call. So up here, and we'll get to chat again in a minute, you're going to be able to see your settings, and you can change your photo here. You can see that I'm presenting, so no notifications are actually going to pop up when I'm presenting or on Do Not Disturb. Through Microsoft Analytics, this was kind of cool. Microsoft Analytics told me on Monday, hey, Abby, you had a really busy week last week. Your calendar looks really full. Do you want to schedule focus time? this focus time is available at these dates and times. And I was like, you know, I probably should put focus time on my calendar. So Microsoft Analytics was saying, you're pretty busy. And so I clicked on the dates to block it on my calendar. During my focus time today, it actually said focus time and put me on do not disturb so that other people in my organization couldn't bother me. And I thought that was pretty cool because it was the first time that I had seen that. The next one is set the status message. So this status message will actually transpose over from your Outlook out of office, or you can change your status message to something that you would like to do. You could say out to lunch, taking a nap, teaching school, you know, in the new world that we live in. The next one is the settings button. So this is your personal control in Microsoft Teams. And you can see here that you can set your setting of your theme. I like to be in dark mode. My eyes love it, and it actually saves energy on my computer. You can also change your application settings down here and your language. The next is privacy. On this privacy button, you can manage priority access. So when I'm on Do Not Disturb, nobody can get through to me. The chat will just sit in chat. But let's say I wanted to give the CEO of the company high priority to bother me at any time. This is where you would import that information. You can block contacts, enable read receipts. I love this because then I know when people have actually read my message, and then surveys as well. The survey function goes to Microsoft, but it helps to make the product better. And it'll basically ask you about your call quality or your experience. I'll go ahead and show you how to change your background one more time, Rob, in a moment. Here on the notification part, this is where you can set your notifications, how you want your banners to show up and your notifications. I turn off notification sounds because I hate the pinging. And then missed activity emails. If I miss something, it'll actually send me an email to my inbox so that I can follow up on it. I can also test different devices because I do travel for my job when I'm able to. I test like Jabra Pancast cameras or poly cameras. And this is where I can actually flip in between those cameras that are connected to my device. Permissions is the next one. You can turn on your location, your media, your camera, your microphone. So sometimes if this isn't working, you may want to check to make sure that these are all turned on. And then the calls here was just showing my team how to set up their voicemail. You can configure your voicemail here, how you ring it, who it forwards to. You can even forward your phone if you have the telephony portion to your cell phone. But why? Why would you forward it if you have Microsoft Teams on your cell phone? It's going to go ahead and ring there for you anyways. Okay. So when you change your background, I'm going to show you just one more time. You click these three dots. And then you're going to go ahead and show background effects. And then it will be here that you'll see the different background effects. I will go ahead and pull up the information on how you can actually upload your own backgrounds as well. So you can see here, I've uploaded my alma mater, NDSU. I have from a lion walk I did in Africa. So I have a bunch of different photos here. But if you use these instructions and you promise not to use until after the webinar, I will go ahead and give these to you. Just give me a moment. The chat window for you. Then you can be sitting in Yankee Stadium or at a football field if you want to, or on a beach drinking a margarita. I think that sounds a lot better, actually. Okay. All right. So this is chat and the settings. If you're invited into another network to collaborate, it will show up here. So you can see I'm on my internal network. If I were to switch over, I could actually go into Teams with other companies that I'm a part of. Okay. In the command button, you can actually search or type out different things that you want to incorporate or look for different information. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and go over to the activity feed. So you can see in the activity feed that this is where you're going to pop up when you're mentioned, or if you're part of a team, information from that team is going to go ahead and show up here, okay? So you can see that slide just reacted to my message in the meeting we're in. And so you can see the heart came up here, it showed up in my activity feed. And then I can also see the activity of the items that I've done. And so you can see that I have reply to items here as well, so I can go back and forth and actually look for the items I need to do. Because Microsoft Teams is the central collaboration for hub for collaboration and teamwork, I do 95% of my business in Microsoft Teams. I don't leave. If I need to go to Outlook, it's because I'm answering things for people who aren't on Teams. So lots of people send me Teams messages. Okay. So here you can see in the left-hand side, we have chat, and I'm going to go ahead and pin this. I pin it because I know that I'm probably going to be coming back to this conversation quite a bit. That pin's going to come up here, and I like to pin conversations if I'm doing a project that maybe could go out 3 months instead of creating a team. So here we're all in the chat functionality, okay? We're able to, in this meeting, see a bunch of different things. So if we wanted to, log in back into the meeting part of it. I'm going to click over here. I'm going to just see if that shows up. The meeting notes did not show up, but sometimes you're going to be able to have the meeting notes where you can type in there and be able to collaborate all in one location. Okay. But from the chat perspective up at the top, you have a whiteboard if you want to take notes. Whiteboard is a part of the application within the meeting, as well as the notes. And so as this loads, let's see if it's going to pop up. But if you're going to be able to type notes in there, write in your notes if you have a touch screen, and it will all collaborate into the one location. All right. Here, if we had shared files, it will show the files here. And then here's the chat portion of it here. But I'm going to show you chat through chat, not through the meeting. And so if we come up to the top, you're going to go ahead and click this box with the pen on it. And I want to go ahead and name the chat. Because the chat's going to have 2 people or more, this is going to be a way for us to come back and forth to this chat. So I'm just going to call it test meeting. I'm going to go ahead and add Joey to the invite. Be nice to me, Joey. And I'm also going to add Sly as well. Okay. Now you can see that it automatically names that. It's going to make it easier, so it's searchable later. I'm going to go ahead and type test, and then I'm going to pin it to the top because we're working on a project. Okay. All right. Now down below is where the fun happens. So here we can be able to write our message. Hi. This is a test for a demo. We're able to bold it, italicize it, highlight it, different things that we may need to do, okay? We can mark it as urgent. So if we're in finance or in medical or out in the field, if something happens, we can mark it as important so those team members are able to see it. We can also mark it as urgent. And I'm not going to send urgent because it will bother Joey and Eddie. Actually, every 2 minutes for 20 minutes, it's going to send an alert to them, which could really bug them if they're in something, right? So if you're going to set the urgent button, make sure it's urgent from that perspective. And I'm going to go ahead and take that off. All right, Joey, you're in the wrong meeting. Can you see the test meeting? And I know you just wrote what's up, but we're going to go ahead and move over to this one if you want to collaborate with me here. Okay. So I'm going to just go ahead and do hello again. We can also attach a document. And this is great because we can collaborate directly within the Microsoft Teams platform. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up my demo. Who has done a demo before or has not done a demo but actually has collaborated in Microsoft Teams with a document before? Anyone? Have you used this?
We do it all the time.
Okay, awesome. So you can see I'm uploading a PowerPoint. Okay, And now that this PowerPoint is uploaded, Joey and I and Eddie or Sly are going to be able to collaborate together at the same time. This is better than going back and forth via email where things could get lost or misinterpreted. And so once Joey or Sly actually come in here, we're going to be able to see their faces in here. It's also going to highlight in a different color what they're editing. And so I'm just going to go ahead and type test here. I personally don't like to edit in here, just to be quite honest. I like to move it to my desktop. So I'm going to go ahead and open it in my desktop app. Okay. And now you can see that I'm able to edit it here. Up here, I'm able to see Joey. He just wrote, Abby is great. Thanks, Joey. From this perspective, and we're able to collaborate at the same time. I can actually see who is editing it as well. We can add in additional documents and do everything that we would normally do within the slideshow. We can design it, add in different documentation, do design ideas, and everything is going to save. Now, the main thing is when you're working in a document and you're collaborating with other people, is that you're not saving it locally. And what I mean by that is don't go file, save as to your desktop. You want to continue to save within the tool. So you want to make sure that this save sign is here with the circle. If the circle isn't here, then it's saving locally to your machine. So it's something to consider. Now, if we close out of this and we come back to Teams, this is going to go ahead and refresh directly in here so that we're able to continue working on our project together. Okay, pretty slick. All right. And the cool thing is that we're working on it. So if we were going to be going back and forth a lot, our file is saved here. So we're not going to have to go search for it within our conversation. We're going to be able to come right back here. Now down below, we can do a bunch of other fun things. People love to add emojis. Joey already added one, which is great. We're able to add GIFs. I always choose the first one, so we'll see what it is. Cute little kitty cat. And we can even do memes. And so you can actually type in your meme, change your messaging, and this is a way for us to have fun with our teams. Okay. The next one is the calendar. Now, I know that I'm going to be working with Joey and Sly on a consistent basis, and so I want to be able to get us into a calendar invite so we can meet every day. I can go ahead and create the calendar request directly from the Teams invite. Joey and Sly are automatically included. I know that they're busy, though, because they're a different color. I'm going to go ahead and title this as test. Okay. I'm going to look at scheduling assistant to see if they're free or they're busy. And you can do this as a normal calendar invite as well to make that reoccurrence happen. You can choose your times here. You can choose repeat. When do you want to make it to happen? And then if you wanted to, you're going to see it later. Let's say you have a sales team. You could actually tie it to that sales team, and that's where the meeting is going to show up. So all of your meeting notes and everything will be located in one place. And because we're doing the meeting in Teams, we don't have to insert a link. It's already going to happen for us. I'm not going to send it just to save them some space on their calendars, but it will show up in Teams as well as Outlook. All right, questions so far before we get into Microsoft Stream? All right, so Microsoft Stream, I love this app. And when I think about working with customers in the field, or if I worked for a manufacturing plant or even legal, we might be dealing with evidence. You may have to go on the scene to take evidence from a law standpoint. You can actually use Microsoft Stream through your phone, through the app, to gather that information. And so you can see on my phone, I went into the app. And on the bottom left-hand corner, there is a picture. Now, if I click that picture, I can actually click camera. And I love this, especially when I go to conferences. I have kind of bad eyes and I like to sit in the back. I can do document. It has whiteboard, business card, and you can take pictures of all of those, and it's going to make it as clear as day. But a lot of times I need to do video and I want to save that video. And so I'm going to show you how easy it is. So you can see I have Microsoft Teams up on my second screen. I'm videoing directly from my cell phone and we're in this call. When that's done, I can actually upload it directly and securely, not saved to my cell phone, so customer information is nowhere on my personal device, and upload it to the meeting. Now you can see that this was uploaded, and we're going to go ahead and just check out that video. Okay. So that's a great feature to be able to have. So everything, again, is secure and encrypted. The next thing we can do is include praise. If you wanted to praise somebody on your team, you could click this. It's kind of fun for team meetings or company meetings. You're able to incorporate third-party apps into your chats, such as Trello for project management. You can put in the weather. So it's kind of fun to be able to see, you know, to strike up a conversation where people are at. I haven't seen 63 degrees in Fargo in probably 4 months, probably longer than that. So it's kind of a good day for us. You can incorporate YouTube and different surveys and so forth that are there as well. Okay. Now I know we're in deep conversation on this project and I need to add in my manager. Well, up here on the right-hand side, I can actually do that. I can add people at any time, and I can choose to see what chat history they're going to see. So if it's a project, you may want to include all of it so that they can actually go back and read everything from that perspective. I'm not going to add anybody, but you can see that you can do that. I can go ahead and do screen share here. I can do auto conferencing. So if I wanted to call my team, I could add them all at the same time, and I can also do video. All right. Here you can also add in additional apps. Because I'm not creating a team, I may need to use one of Microsoft's apps to actually help our business grow. So if we wanted to add in a website, let's see if this works. We could do that, and that website's going to go ahead and show up here. So we have a point of reference to go back and forth within our project. Okay, questions so far? Everybody still awake, or are you on like your second beer? Hopefully you're on your second beer or glass of wine. All right.
Oh, good.
Perfect. Thanks.
Good. We're good.
Can you remove someone from chat? Absolutely, you can. So if we wanted to go back to this team meeting, if their purpose is no longer needed or their presence, I can actually go in and just click this X button here. And now slide is removed. Okay, great question. Yeah, you're welcome, Adam. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and go into Teams. And you're like, we're already in Microsoft Teams. How do we activate the video feature? The video feature through Stream is included in certain licensing plans, and we can go ahead and work with ITS to supply those to you. What's so nice about Microsoft Stream is that those videos actually save on a Stream site as part of your license. I can't imagine not having that functionality with the job that I have with the sales, because I'm out in the field and I love to get customer testimonials as well. So it would all be a part of the license. Another great question. How long are they saved? You can actually set up a retention policy. You do all of that through the admin portal, and ITS can help you there as well. So those are great, all great questions. On average, I mean, most companies save things for 7 years. If you're in legal, you probably want to save things a little bit longer. Okay. All right. Now over on the team side, you're going to be able to see that I have a bunch of teams that are already here. I'm going to click up here on this education demo. So this team, this is the name of the team. That's the very first line. On the name of the team, this is where you invite people who are going to be contributors to that team. The next one that will automatically create is the general channel. And the channel is a subset of that team. Anybody who is a part of the team is included in the everybody who's a part of the team is included in the general tab. So if you have a company team channel for company-wide announcements, this is a great place to share announcement, documentation, maybe the holiday party, things that everybody in the company would need to know. Then you have additional channels that you can create, both private and public. The private channels are ones that only people you invite to that channel can attend. And then you can see it's private because there's a lock there. The additional channels that are there are public. So you can see in this education demo that I have set up that I have grades, student files, and teacher lesson plans. Okay, and so I've started to do some general things that are here. Here's the file section. So where we are able to share project information. So maybe you have a customer projects that you work on. You could actually do customers and have a file for each project that you're working on for your customer, including proposals and documentation and so forth. The next page that I have set up is a wiki. This could be for like university announcements, but you can take notes inside your meetings. I have my OneNote, which I use religiously, set up here as well. And this OneNote is set up to show the syllabus. You have class notes that have been set up, required reading, resources, etc. In my personal OneNote, I use Microsoft Teams for everything. And so you can see in my OneNote, if I'm in an elevator with Satya, wouldn't that be like the coolest thing ever? And I needed information, I could pull out my phone and actually pull out all of the information that I would need to be successful. OneNote is so cool because you can actually take an important email. So we'll go ahead and just take this email right here. And you can connect it right to OneNote. All you have to do is click the OneNote button, click the team that you want it to go to, and click OK. And that's going to go ahead and show up directly into the OneNote where you want it to be. So that's a great thing. So you have all of your information on the fly. Maybe your customer or somebody sends you information via email, you can upload it. Again, Microsoft OneNote is encrypted as well. So all of your information is safe and secure. And the best part is if you're working with a client, it's going to upload into Teams. So you have all that information at your fingertips. Okay. If I go back to this team demo over here for education, you can see that I set up a class survey using Microsoft Forms. Forms is great if you want to create events. You're going to see your responses here, and they're super quick and easy to make. You can share them via a link, both public and internal. Again, I showed you that you can attach websites. I have North Dakota State here. I have my kids' tools that they use for learning included in here just as a demo environment. And then even another form that I helped somebody create. Okay. Some other apps that you can include, like my dynamic CRM is included. So I have my system directly built into Teams so I can log in here and use it on the fly. I have our ordering marketplace included here as well, so I don't have to go anywhere else to get quotes for my customers. I even have my travel calendar, which is built through SharePoint, directly included here as well. So you can see that Microsoft Teams is endless at the end of the day. Now, you're probably wondering, how easy is it to create a team? So down below, you can click Join or Create a Team. You can join any of these teams that are here. I'm going to go ahead and create a team. I'm going to build the team from scratch, and I'm going to make it private. I'm going to go ahead and call it legal. You can see how quick it was to actually create that team. I can type in people's names if I wanted to, but I'm going to go ahead and skip it. And boom, there is my team. It is created. Inside, since it's private, I can even make it more private. I'm going to go ahead and add a channel. I'm going to just go ahead and name it Case 1. And I can go ahead and make this a private channel and go ahead and click Next. So again, only people that are part of the team can join, and only people part of the private channel have to be asked to join. Okay, so super quick and easy to do. In here, I can get a link to the team. So if I needed to invite multiple people, I get the link and I send it out via email. I can add members, and I can even manage the channel here. So when I manage the channel, I'm going to be able to see all of the members, requests that are pending. I can add channels through here, go into settings and change those settings. If I want to not let people have fun, I can take away the fun. And I'll even be able to see the analytics of the channel at the end of the day. I can even prohibit apps. So I can delete these apps. If I know certain apps I don't want included, I can go into more apps and prohibit them from being a part of it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and delete this as quickly as I made it. As long as you have everything set up in your admin portal accordingly, you really aren't losing the data. If you lose an employee and they think they're being smart, it will be saved. Okay. And one of the other really cool features of Microsoft Teams, if we go up here to general, is you can get an email for your channel. So if you have people that are emailing you and you want to respond in Teams to kind of figure out the solution, you can actually get that email information and have it sent directly to there as well. All right, next is calendars. And I know we don't have much time left, but in the calendar section here, we can actually create a new meeting where you can invite anybody and then add into the channels like we have looked at before. Channel or calendaring is pretty self-explanatory. And the next part is phone calls. So you can see here that I'm able to make phone calls directly out of Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is my telephony. And so I'm able to make calls through my computer or even direct through my cell phone. When I work with customers, I don't use my cell phone to call numbers. I actually use my company line, which is built into Teams. I have speed dial here and other contacts, more contacts here, and even my history, so I'll know when I've missed a call or how long a call lasts. This is nice if you do billable hours. You're going to be able to see how long that conversation lasted with that client because it's happening through Teams. Everything is documented for you. And then you also have your voicemail. I don't have voicemail right now, but if I did, it would be here. Plus that would transcribe into my Outlook message. A couple more items and then we'll open for questions. Because Ingram is built in a OneDrive environment, which I totally recommend, I will never lose anything I'm working on. It's always saved. And you can see everything is saved directly here, whether I worked on it in Microsoft Teams or not. Microsoft Teams documents are here. And then I also have my OneDrive. OneDrive are personal documents to me, documents I haven't shared with anyone else unless I've created sharing capabilities, but those are all in one location as well. You can pin certain apps. I use OneNote, so I put OneNote up there. Shifts, something for the first line worker. If you're on Office 365, doesn't mean everybody has to have the full function, but shifts allows you to schedule, time keep, and do time off requests, and it's all built into Teams. And then the last one is the Yammer community. They just released this yesterday. So if you have Yammer in your organization, which is kind of like Facebook for work, you're able to collaborate in that one location as well. All right, questions, comments, concerns, bring it on. It's a lot of information. And I love how you're on a bus, or are you on the subway? That's so cool, Jay.
That's the commute I'm missing.
I'm sorry. Oh, it's been a tough time, hasn't it?
Yep.
Sure, he's not sorry he's missing that commute.
I am. I definitely am.
So I have a question with the calling thing. Is that something special you have to add, or does that just automatically come with Teams, or do we need like a special license for that?
Yeah, so once you have Teams, it's an additional add-on SKU, but it can actually, if you were to look at your phone bill and then move over to Teams for the telephony portion, you could probably reduce some of your spend. Plus, everything is located in one location. So ITS can actually help you with that conversation, and we can look at that with you.
Happy to have the conversation.
Absolutely.
Great, thanks.
Dan, it is also discounted at charitable rates. So.
Oh, awesome. Even better.
All right, any other questions? I think we have a couple more gift cards to get away. Can you port a number to Teams? Absolutely, all day long you can. Yeah. And Adam, have you won anything yet, Adam? Because you're asking a lot of great questions. I think Adam gets a gift card too.
Giving one to family member.
Oh, is it a family member? Oh, Adam, you're disqualified. I had no idea.
No, he definitely gets it. I'm just busting his chops, but he's good.
So Abby, I'll chime in, and I know that Sly delivered the security component. The reason that we're here is that we partner with ITS because they're one of our better partners to deliver this solution from a collaboration and security perspective to you as a partner. So I appreciate what Abby's done, and I think it's been a great call, and I appreciate everyone that's on here. But we're partnering with ITS for a reason. It's because they're delivering the right solution to you as an end user.
Yeah, it's a great call out.
Thank you, Joey. We appreciate it. Ingram's a great partner of ours, and we've been working hard on the security and hard working with Microsoft. So thank you.
Yeah,
I think there's some other questions.
We do. Does it work with a Mac? It does. We can show you that functionality in a side call if you like, but there's definitely functionality with a Mac.
And Abby, I want to give someone a gift card if they can stump you on a Teams question.
Well, I don't know at all. Anyways, but we'll have to find more information for you if that's possible. So don't go search hard Teams questions.
I'll give you a $1 gift card.
$1. Is there a way to keep track of documents shared during a meeting, like a list? There is. And so if we were to go into this meeting and we're going to be able to see it in the chat, all you need to do is go ahead and click files. And all of that information will be shared right here so that you can come back to it. I think one of the greatest things with Teams is that if you create a reoccurring meeting, that's gold, right? Because you know that those same people are going to be showing up week after week. If you're working on documentation or sharing things, people are not going to be able to say to you, you never shared that with me. And you can be like, well, go look at files. Go look at this conversation from X date, and everything will be there. So you're going to take some confusion out of that as well.
We use, and to that point, we chime in with, we use it every morning for our daily huddle, and there's a persistent chat within that for that huddle with a reoccurring meeting, exactly what you're saying.
No, it's great. Look at all these awesome backgrounds.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like there's another question. Sorry, I got to turn that on. It's just taking a second. It knows it's the end.
And while Abby's doing that, like, guys, think about from an end user and a partner perspective. Google no longer allows Zoom as a collaboration perspective. So, what Abby's delivered today is a full functioning collaborative secure platform to do things across geographies, teams, projects, like across everything, and do it in a fun capacity. So yeah. I don't want to steal her thunder, but I wanted to convey that.
Great. To import or link a third-party app into Teams, it'd have to be software as a service. You know what? I have to actually check on that one. Know though that all of the apps, and Adam, you don't get to win because you're family, so now I know. But
I will give you a $1 gift card.
All of the apps are certified by Microsoft. There's actually 440 of them, and so they are tested, tried and true to be apps that are on the Microsoft platform or in the App Store. Okay. And I know we're starting to dwindle down on people, and we're at our time. Are there any other questions?
Well, I'd like to say thank you for everyone for coming. Thank you, Abby and Joey, for hosting this with us. We really appreciate having great partners like Ingram Micro and everyone to be here, and appreciate our clients and appreciate the prospects who came on. We really appreciate your time today. We know it's valuable. So we really thank you a lot for being here today.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, you guys. Have a great day.
Have a great day. Stay safe.